Hi, I'm ROX and you're watching SoulCulture TV.
Lose myself in the beat, where the rhythm takes me. Now we're losing control. Like the day we first kissed.
Do you know what I think? Whatever you do, you're always going to be pigeonholed, whether you're black, you're white, you're Indian or whatever. And what I try to do is focus less upon that and focus on myself. Like, I don't believe I make black music, I don't think I make white music, I think I make my music, you know. And I was fortunate enough to be brought up with such a vast musical knowledge. Like, I went to church and I got with gospel, country music, then to reggae, to hip hop, to folk music, and you know, as long as I can reflect that in my music, you know, you can call me what you want.
Yes, I tried and failed you twice, rejecting love, but like a knife. No going back on this one. The choice
Well, I first decided that I was going to sort of take music seriously is when I was probably about the age of 12, I think, because prior to that I'd only really performed in church and a few productions at school, but then I think the last year of primary school someone saw me in the audience and just said, you know, why don't you do something called NYMT, which is like a theatre production thing. And then I took his advice and I auditioned and I got through, and it was just such great grounding for me because it was the first time I did something at such a professional level, and I toured around the country and I was like, I want to do more of this. But then I sort of put the musical theatre thing to a side and then started to write my own stuff and sort of experiment with sounds as you do when you're first writing. And it was about, I think, 2.5 years ago, I came back from travelling. I went to Mexico for 3 months and I wrote a few songs out there, and I thought I wanted to start like a sort of acoustic jazz sort of trio thing, and I got together with 2 other girls and I sort of went around the London circuit and performed like these theatrical jazz songs, and it went down really well, and it was great for me just to have the experience of performing like my own stuff, and naturally and organically through like word of mouth, A&R people came down and like the word sort of spread that way. And then I met my publishers, and then I met my management, and it was such a great process for me, and all the right people came on board, and it just, you know, everything happened at the right time, you know. And so I was given like as long as I wanted to write the album, and now I'm here. Well, 2009 has been, you know, one of the most important years for me because it was still, you know, the beginning of the year was still writing tracks for the album, and towards the end it's been finishing it. And it's this year, you know, especially towards the end, is when more people have been hearing about me, and you know, fortunately enough, I've got, you know, on certain stuff like the Sound Poll, BBC and the MTV stuff, and it's just basically showing people that, you know, I'm here and I'm ready to do my thing, you know, and gradually and organically it's happening. I'm getting so much support from people, and it's so lovely to have, because when you're making it, you never know what's going to happen. Like, everyone around you telling it's great, your family love it, but you know, you don't know what's going to happen when you finally release your baby. So yeah, this year's been great, and I did the Jools Holland thing a couple weeks ago, and that was an amazing experience for me. That's another thing that I watched since I was really young, and I said to myself, I'm going to be in that show. And when it finally came, I didn't really know what to do. I was just sort of looking around thinking, okay. And then Annie Lennox was like bubbling to my tune. I found it really weird. But yeah, 2009 has been amazing. Really, really good. The main influences for me would definitely have to be Lauryn Hill, Sade, Joni Mitchell and Mary J. Blige. It started with Mary J. I remember listening to the My Life album. Like, how old was I? That was like, what, 12 years ago? I was like 9 or something, from my dad. And what I loved about that is, you know, she just wasn't afraid to use her vocals, and she wasn't afraid to write about what hurt the most. I was like, damn, this is like truly exposing yourself, you know, in every way. Yeah, and then I sort of moved to Lauryn Hill, and I loved like her voice and the fact that she could just switch from like rapping to singing, and just her lyrical content always blew my mind. And then Sade was just like, I love the fact that less is more with her, you know. She doesn't have to do all these frills, she doesn't have to be belting, she can just say like the simplest of lyrics and it could be just as effective. And then Joni Mitchell, like I have this like real love for folk country music, and I think it's definitely my upbringing with my grandparents, and I love the storytelling. I really love that sort of songwriting, and yeah, the album totally blew my mind, and I listened to it for about a year and I was like, I want to write songs like that, I want to sing like her. So yeah, those 4 singers definitely influenced me a lot.
And who have you worked with on the album in terms of production? Shux was...
Yes.
Has he produced the whole album, or...?
He produced the majority of it, because basically what happened is initially I'd gone to New York to work with a guy called Commissioner Gordon, who he did like Miseducation of Lauryn Hill, and I did a lot of the album there, and it was a great experience because I worked with a lot of these old dudes that worked on like Bob Marley's record and stuff. And then after about 5 weeks I came back and we sort of reviewed it, and it was great, but we felt that, you know, it would be great to get someone a bit, you know, who's not known, because I wasn't really known at that time. I mean, since the Jay-Z thing, a lot's changed now, but yes, we got Al on board, and he's so talented, and you haven't really heard like half of what he can do, you know, because he's a musician as well. Like that guy can play every instrument. I can't really think of what he can't play. So it was great to get in the studio with him, because we'd known each other before. It was such an easy process, and I think we finished it over a course of a few months. And it was so great, because when it was done I knew it was right, and I was like, I don't want to touch it again, it's done. And yeah, he really brought a lot of magic to the record. What you can expect from the album is basically a lot of my experiences. I mean, I wrote this over 2 years, and I've been through a bit of heartache, you know, leaving someone, and then I found like my new love in this. What I just hope to get out of this album more than anything is for people to connect with it. Also, what you can expect from the album is that there's different genres. There's like stuff that's really big, like full of screeching organs and gospel sort of choruses, or there's other ones that are really stripped down and really intimate and delicate and quite vulnerable in some ways. But yeah, I just hope it sort of takes people on the journey that I sort of went on, you know, when listening to it. Heavy thinking how I got in this place, all that drinking has left me a sour taste, and my old flame is lying right next to me like the good days, but now that is history. Who could have guessed the scene for tonight, with you edging close and your hands on my side? I stay true to my word, that's the least you deserve from the one that broke your heart. Why are you doing this to yourself? 'Cause tonight will end in tears. You'd be to blame with no one else. No going back on this one. The choice I made for life, 'cause all the hurt has been done. So many reasons why I don't know what to make of this, and I hoped you'd be over it by now. No going back on this one, 'cause the hurt's been done. Thank you.